This episode of WoW Weekly is brought to you by WoWweekly.net, your source for Warcraft and Blizzard news, guides, and editorials.
This week in Warcraft, Garrisons will be part of the main leveling experience as well as the end game. Active mana regeneration makes a comeback in the latest alpha patch notes, and a new blog about raid philosophy should be coming out this week. I'm Mezzy and welcome to our weekly episode number 31. I'm joined by LJ. Welcome back, LJ.
Thank you. Glad to be here again.
How are you?
Doing quite well. Yourself?
Yeah, had a good sleep, barbecue yesterday.
You
Not
lucky
too
git.
bad. Yeah, indeed. Barbecue in frickin' April, man.
Why not? It's the weather for it, huh?
Indeed. Also joining us is Matt. Welcome back, Matt.
Hello, how are you all? Everyone fine? Good days? Sunny? All that malarkey?
Well, as you know, things have been frustrating, but relaxed yesterday, so we'll see how tonight goes.
That's alright.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. There wasn't a podcast last week because of scheduling reasons and the fact there wasn't really much to talk about. And we're actually shooting this on Sunday this week because of King's Day yesterday, and both myself and LJ weren't here.
LJ was hammered.
Exactly.
Not that. It wasn't that bad, but I was slightly intoxicated.
Okay. Trying to cover yourself, are you?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. So
We have to keep it PG-13, right?
we try to.
We fail horribly, though.
Oh yes, we do. So let's get right into it. Corey Stockton did some tweeting about Garrisons this week, and one of the main things that came out of it was that they've decided that Garrisons will be part of the main leveling experience. Now, because of this, you won't be able to choose the zone for your garrison, and that means that your garrison location will be your faction starting zone in Draenor itself. Now, this is quite a change from what they originally said, how garrisons would work, at least as to making it your own thing. So, what do you guys think of this? Matt, what do you think of when they say, no, we're limiting your choice?
All depends how it's done. They're saying they're meant to be building it into the main story, so if it's done well, done nicely, it should be okay, but it's hard at the moment. I'm not really that fussed by it because at the end of the day, if you're going to run around everywhere, if you're going to have I don't know, who's really going to moan, oh, I can't put it exactly where I'd like, I haven't got the right view?
Yeah. That's true.
I know it's just I just feel that I don't think anyone would really mind about it. I do think if anyone does, it's a little bit petty for saying we are getting something new to play with. It's going to be interesting. Is it going to be to fill everyone as the main new thing for the expansion? I don't know, but hey, I think I'm slightly more optimistic about it than I have been previously, if that helps.
That's good, I guess.
Every little bit helps, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Just every little bit.
So, LJ, what do you think about this?
Well, of course, it's not great, but I mean, if it works out perfect, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I think. Of course, it would have been nice if you placed it in your most favorite bit of the whole expansion, but I mean, it's not. I trust Blizzard when they say that it won't impair your experience with it. I mean, it may be a little bit, it may impair it a little bit, but it's not going to be. Nothing's going to change because 9 out of 10 times they already do that because it's better and easier for them as well as maybe for us as well. Because if they can centralize it, that might make the game, I don't know, better, stabler than everybody has their garrison in every other zone. though they would program it for it, of course. But yeah, it's still, I don't see it as a big problem.
Were you guys looking forward to getting the choice though, or did you not really care?
I didn't really care. Okay, choice is always a nice thing, but then we are talking about a game that apparently is taking away choice with skills and that malarkey. But with regards to the Garrisons, talk about the whole bigger picture, having it more integrated into the quest. I do quite like that, because one thing I was worried about the way Garrisons are working, it almost looked like a rich man's add-on to the game. I know that's a bad way of putting it, because yes, they have said a lot of different things, but to me, the way they were describing it and showing that if you were absolutely minted, a lot of people on this game, unfortunately, have no lives and have a fair bit of money. I have a life, don't have that much money. So it's nice. So you've got to expect that while doing these quests, everyone's going to be on quite an even footing. Yes, there's going to be there for the people that can just throw money at it, but then again, at least it is going to be an equal footing for the start.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. While we're on the subject of Garrisons, there's more to discuss about it anyway. We haven't talked about the aspect of actually defending your garrison, have we?
Oh, no.
A week or two back, it might have been on the WoW Source episode, the sort of interview format thing from Blizzard themselves, but the Iron Horde is going to attack your garrison, and you're going to have to defend it. And if you fail in defending it, the morale of your followers is going to go down, and that means they're less likely to succeed in their missions, and their morale will keep going down until they actually succeed again. So it's becoming more lively, I think is the best way to put it.
By the sounds of it, that is quite nice that they actually make it not just NPCs that work for you, but actually make them have feeling.
Yeah.
Something like that, to have the,
Feelings,
man, feeling, man. They want to work, but they can't. But the thing is, it's not going to be like as difficult as you. I mean, it's good, of course, that they do something like this, but of course, there's a lot of normal players, casuals, that don't want to,
You're a casual.
I'm a casual raider. That's one thing.
So there's elitism in that too.
Yes, of course. Jesus Christ, man. I'm not just a casual. Come on. But yeah.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah. Jeez,
Raider.
man.
Oh my god.
But I don't. I'll have to wait till it actually works out and see how it goes, because I mean, I like those kinds of things, like with some Assassin's Creed games, the latest few, and some other games you have like that. You have your base and you build stuff like that, and it's nice, but it's not too difficult. And with those games, it's also it's an added effect. It's very nice, but it's not like the main goal. But if they are really trying to make this thing into a main subject of the next expansion, they are going to have to do a lot better and a lot bigger than those games, of course. Which I fully expect of them, but it also begs the question: how are they going to do it, and how is that morale and such going to pan out eventually?
Yeah.
Because it might be fun for to actually have to defend it, but to make it like into a chore that every so and then you get attacked, maybe after a while you just go, okay, here we go again, click, 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 and it's done. Or I don't know, you feel it. They also have to make it not too challenging, but make it a challenge at least. Like if you're that you might not just lose morale, but I mean, if you lose too much morale, that you might actually lose a follower or something like that. I mean, make it.
Are you advocating for that? To lose a follower?
I am actually.
Wow.
You see, I'm not just a casual.
The thing is, it does sound a little bit. So I don't know what setup it's going to have, but I don't know. It sounds like playing other games, and what seems to be the big be all and end all at the moment with a lot of other games out there is stuff like rifts or the active game change and stuff like that. Like anyone that's played Rift, you run around and a rift spawns, and of course, and that's fine. You've got guild wars, you've got the guild wars, you've got something. Do you know what I mean? It's all that type. There's just a little sort of thing in every single game at the moment, and I'm thinking maybe they're going to use the Garrisons as WoW's version of that. That is what they're going to do. It's going to be the gimmick of the game.
Yeah.
Like Elder Scrolls, you've got.
I think a lot of games have picked up on stuff like this. I don't. Blizzard isn't the first one to come with stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Every game at the moment is doing that, and that's one.
I think it was in Star Wars or something. That's coming with guilds, whole homes, and stuff like that as well now. So I mean, everybody's trying to pick up on it.
Yeah. Final Fantasy has guild. That they have the. You've got the guild homes on Final Fantasy. You've got the rifts, or they're not rifts, but you know what I mean. The random events around the thing, around the map. You've got the game Rift that has it, and you've got. So it seems every game is doing something like that, and that's what it seems they will be using this for as WoW's gimmick. Hopefully, it'll be quite fun. I quite enjoy having some minions to boss around.
Minions.
Yeah, well, on the subject of followers, because then
can they all be yellow?
No,
and only have one eye.
And only have one or two eyes and all wear goggles and go.
Well, if Blizzard doesn't come with some kind of achievement related to that, they failed somewhere.
They've got to. They've got to.
That's gonna. They have to. It's Blizzard. They've made an achievement for almost every other cult movie or whatever there is out there. So
exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna be heavily disappointed if that gets left out.
Well, on the subject of followers, we probably didn't discuss this as well. Then, while you're in Draenor, head doing dungeons, quests, etc., occasionally you can come across an NPC that you have to help, either quest or just find at the bottom of a dungeon somewhere. And they might just join you as a follower. So it's going to be a bit more interactive and, well, they haven't said this, but I'm hoping then that it will be a bit more dynamic so that not everyone finds the same follower at the same location. It has some pretty huge potential.
It does. It really does, and that's why I always I like I said, I already like these kind of things. I always loved building your own base, have your own feeling of your own home, and actually contributing to the world, not just and actually doing something with that and make it quite extensive. And if they really just not make it too random, but also like what you said, that everybody can get their own minions at different places. They have to do different stuff for them. I don't know. Make it not, walk throughable.
Yeah, exactly. There could be guides for possible places, but not that you find it in every single place of that guide. I think that's the best way they should go about doing it. So that it's diverse, and when you go play on an alt, you won't get the exact same experience again.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's an important thing to note. I mean, though, if you're going to go about alts, I don't know if it's going to be that much fun to level it all again for an alt, but that's Blizzard probably going to do. Probably, first you're going to have to do it, and later they're going to give you tab art so you can get increased reputation or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and that's a different discussion for a different moment, I think.
Well, it's still related to it, because if we look at the farms from the tillers, you had to go through the entire same process again, over and over and over.
Until they gave the item, so you got faster rep, which meant you had to do in
exactly.
a
But then
short
it was
time.
still doing the dailies, and when the Warbringers came out using, I don't think they actually gave tillers reps. So that doesn't even apply there. So it still came down to dailies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe Blizzard in so many things, but I mean, the moment they said that archaeology wasn't going to be a grind fest, it's one of the moments that I lost hope in society, basically. That is one of the biggest grind fests in that game, and that's saying a lot. So, I mean, they still have to repair that damage, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That was horrible.
There is going to be a lot of things which they need to do, which they're going to have to look at. At the moment, with regards to, I actually agree with what May said. I do hope they put a lot more randomization into which minions you can get which helpers you can get. It would be quite boring if everybody had the same. Yes, okay, I understand about having the same 4 or 5 minions or something like that, but you never know. Maybe have a couple of minions that spawn randomly on the map or something like that to give you a random quest that only certain people can do, if you know what I mean, and it's random on an entire map, and they're more the epic minions. Something random.
It's sounding like archaeology now. Watch out, man. Watch out.
No, I'm not talking about the grind, but I'm just thinking about just something a bit more where I know not many people like luck, and people hate when you say it's luck orientated, but at the end of the day, sometimes that isn't a bad thing, because
if it wasn't luck oriented, to interrupt again, but if it wasn't luck oriented in this game, they wouldn't have transmogrification. So everybody still there is. It's maybe not the biggest part, but it is still a part, because it's it's just you look at it the whole time.
On the subject of grindiness as well, the followers are going to have gear. You're going to have to choose for rewards from their missions if they get new gear, or they possibly bring something back for you.
Well, that's basically that reminds me 100% of Star Wars. But like the missions you got, like the quest you completed, sometimes had gear for you, gear for the followers, or commendations, which meant even better gear for you. But sometimes you had to get this gear for your followers, otherwise they kept on dying and they wouldn't have use for you. So I think that is actually a good thing, that you have to choose what's going to be your biggest. What's going to be most beneficial to you?
Yeah, so a possible investment into your follower to get more rewards later on.
Exactly. I mean, I it would also not make it logical that you have like a shitty geared follower going into dungeon and coming back with some epic loot. For instance, I'm just saying something random here. I mean, that wouldn't make sense. That would be saying that you could go in with your greens into a dungeon and that you would get the same. That isn't possible. Of course, not the same rules apply for you. Of course, that's logical. That for you and the followers. But I mean, there's still got to be some believable sense in it.
Yeah, and that's why they then will fill missions. And if their morale is low, kind of like with real rating, they're going to do worse. So morale will play a role in that. It won't all be just 100% great.
It's going to be very interesting regarding this whole, as you like, regarding everything with the morale but I don't know. It's just going to be. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be weird. People are going to have to look at it. People are going to have to see what they want to happen, and hopefully it'll all be hunky dory and the world's not going to end.
It's the end of the world of Warcraft as we know it.
Well, isn't that every expansion?
No, that was the Cataclysm.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that was terrible. That was the.
It was cataclysmic, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah. Let's change the world and have a really cranky dragon as the. Oh god.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, going back
the
to
the precipice of the precipice of the game. I mean, Cataclysm was supposed to be fun, but it turned out to be the exact opposite. But yeah.
It was okay. The start was the return of more hardcore. Hardcore is the wrong word. More challenging gameplay in dungeons, in heroics, and then it all fell apart. But Cataclysm aside, let's get back to the leveling experience with dungeons. Outside of the getting random followers from quests and stuff like that, how could we see the garrisons be implemented in the leveling experience itself? Because, sure, we could defend our garrison a few times, get some experience from that as a quest, but then wouldn't that make it boring quite quickly when your garrison gets attacked by the Iron Horde again? So how could we see this actually be integrated into the leveling experience well?
This is what I think. All you can see, I reckon there's going to be there's got to be certain times throughout the leveling process where something's going to happen. It was like, you'll go back to your base, oh my god, it's been attacked, blah, blah, blah. That won't be too bad. It all depends how often they do it. It's just really, I don't know. It's a bit weird. I don't know how they're going to do it. I just hope they do it all right. If you know what I mean. It gets,
We don't want a repeat of Cataclysm. That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Garrisons are the only big feature for PvE stuff coming to Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah.
Sure, we're
Yeah.
going to get new raids. We'll have Mythic raiding, but that's really just heroic raiding, but then for 20 people. We're going to have Asheron, that's for PvP. And that's it. That's Draenor. Just new content and new quests. Hopefully more dynamic content to make the expansion last longer. But outside of that, system simplification, which isn't always a bad thing, but yeah, that's it. Garrisons are the big, new, shiny thing. It needs to be done right.
Exactly, and we'll just have to wait and see if and when that gets done right.
Yeah.
Speaky difficulty, yes.
Oh yes, very difficult. On the Sunday, well, afternoon now. It still feels like morning for me, but afternoon.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, let's move on, and it's still with the Garrisons because he also tweeted about the Garrisons and professions. How's that going to work? Now, Corey Stockton said that if you use all 4 of your small plots within your garrisons, so I guess the small plots are going to be for professions, or at least for professions and maybe something else. If you use all 4 of them for professions, you'll effectively get 4 more professions on your character. Now, these professions via the garrison will be similar to if you would have them on your character. So, does this basically mean that they're going to give you an option to have 6 professions on one character? So you have to alt less for getting more professions?
well, that's kind of late for me because I already have all frickin' professions on all characters. So, yeah. But I know what you mean, and I think that might be nice, and nice added bonus to have that possibility after, I don't know, 10 years of the game.
Yeah, November is 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's what I
10
mean.
years of Warcraft. 10 years of our lives wasted to this
10 years of
game.
loneliness.
Anyway, sure, you have, so do I, enough characters, alts with max level professions to be able to do everything and not depend on other people because, let's face it, other people suck.
Except us.
Oh yeah, of course, we're amazing. I
Of
mean,
course.
we're of course exceptions to the rule. I'm
Of
sure
course,
Matt is
exactly.
laughing his ass off while he's muted, but
I hope
still,
so.
we won't have to level all those professions up then per character because it usually involves leveling up your character as well. So it's nice not to have to level 11 characters from 90 to 100.
Yeah, it is. So,
Any thoughts at all, Matt? Or
I apologise. I'm now available, ready. I have not got a clue what you were talking about, so I'll say yes.
All right.
let me guess the fiance.
No, that was my father wanting to speak about football.
You should have joined in while we were talking before we started, man.
I know apparently there's 2,000 people away fans in Burton. Oh my god.
Wow.
Right.
Yes. Oh joy.
Anyway, getting back to Warcraft, because this is starting to feel like our pre-podcast discussion.
Talking about Warcast, who will be the next manager of Manchester United?
Wow. All right, so
The Sportscraft. Sorry.
Fuck.
that's pretty much everything for Garrisons. Although, Matt, we just talked about what you wrote in the doc as well, about the basically getting extra professions through your garrison.
Ah, yes, that does sound cool.
Good change?
Yeah, lazy, yes. Maybe non-lazy, no. Limited, I think limited access would be better, but hey.
You mean like half the profession or something?
I don't know. I do. I think.
Come on, it's okay. Just say it, man. Just say it.
As
Say it
you,
to us.
I'm presuming you said someone that's leveled every profession. I've leveled a lot of professions on
I
my
have
characters.
all of them. So
it does seem a bit of a slap in the face to people.
I have herbalism 4 times, so
Do you know what I mean? It
yeah.
does seem a bit of a slap on the face of people who have worked very hard. But then again, I see why they're doing it. A lot of people, not a majority of people, raid on one character. So why would you want like every single character? You have to work every single profession. So I don't know. It's probably a good change and overhaul. Do I like it? Not really.
It's pretty late to actually implement something like that. To be
Yeah.
honest, I mean, it'll have benefits for some people, but not a lot of people at the moment, I would say.
Well, you know what would make it absolutely perfect? I don't care if it's cost an entire plot. Get one of your followers to do your archaeology for you.
Oh yeah, right there. That shit. We need it.
Blizzard, golden idea. Make it happen.
Why would you want to do that?
Because it's boring.
Archaeology is not a farm.
We do not have a fiance that wants to do all that stuff.
She's never done it for me. I've never managed to get to do my archaeology. Fish, I can get to do my fishing. I can ask them to fish for hours upon hours and hours. Can I get her to do my archaeology for me? All I get is sworn at when I ask her to.
And with good
rightfully
reason.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with good reason as well.
Yeah.
The one thing on this game that is it's too repetitive.
Yeah.
I mean, fishing was already boring, but it's the actual addition of archaeology. That's a feat on its own, making something even more boring than fishing.
Can anyone tell me what the point in archaeology is?
Making you waste time, perhaps get a bind on account item for an alt. I mean, some of the toys were good, and I still don't have the
items
frickin'
as well.
mouse.
I used like when they first came out, like the Tronda's doll, the
Yeah,
just call it
the toys.
trinkets.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the trinket for healing was not too bad to start off with. I mean, within the dungeon and such, but no use whatsoever now anymore. Not the
No.
trinket itself, but I mean archaeology. There's not.
Yeah, I just don't.
The items they give now aren't really, useful.
No, although the gun is fun for transmog. It actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's the Calaxy looking.
Yeah, the Calaxy
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I think I used that on my hunter as well, or I have it at least. And you have a sword as well, Calaxy sword, which doesn't look that awful either. It's really the Calaxy style, but yeah, that's it. We're talking about transmogrification gear that we grinded for horribly.
By the way,
Though I liked how they changed it though in this expansion. And what were you going to say, Matt?
oh, have they changed? Do you know what? I don't even know they've changed it in this expansion. My archaeology is still, I think, level 250, and I did that under duress. I was that bored. I think I was that bored at the end of the last expansion. I got that bored one day. I thought, oh, I'll level archaeology. And that's after 3 or 4 more times of being that bored. I had nothing else to do to level archaeology, and I've finally got to
That's pretty bad.
240. I just can't. I just sit there thinking, oh, this is so much fun. What shall I do? Oh, fly to next base. Wow, this is fun. What shall I do now? Fly to next base.
Well,
oh, wow.
Like I said, with how they changed it more, not really changed, but how they made it different. That you have to gather items in Pandaria now, and that you can trade the boxes. You don't really get items like you did before, but you get boxes, crates of items basically, and those crates you can turn in for other
Fragments.
That's the word. Thank you. Fragments for other reps, other archaeology things, basically archaeology sites, which is okay, but it's still basically you don't have to grind for that civilization per se, but you have to grind with a civilization for another civilization. So it's basically trying to make it easier while it shouldn't have been this way in the first place.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
then the achievements. Get 20 of each item.
Yeah, don't get me started. Please don't get me started.
I mean,
No.
the only thing I still really want from archaeology is the damned mount from the desert people.
Oh, you mean the Tolvir?
Yeah, Tulvir.
I want the pet still from them.
Oh, you mean the hand? I have that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then my girlfriend also has it. And it's the only thing of archaeology I still want because Adam's family. What more do you want?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love it. But that I've been grinding for that for a long time now, as well as the what was it? I was when it all came out. I was at Wretchedin, and I wanted the two-handed sword from
Oh,
Trolls.
that one looks
I
good.
still I still don't have it, and I have done over 1,000 completions in
Are you
Troll. I
lot
think.
still talking archaeology?
Yep.
I
This
Yes.
is
complete,
this goes to show how much we hate it.
I completely zoned out there. I'm like almost passing out asleep on the table
Because of archaeology.
because of archaeology.
It is pretty bad, isn't it?
I never
Yes,
thought
it
I could
is.
find something that
So-
boring.
Shall we go on then, Matt, to something you're apparently still not happy about?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You know you can get it enlarged, right?
Hey, boom.
Oh wow. Wow. Hey LJ, good job on the PG-13 thing.
I didn't say anything. It's your mind.
Sure. So let's go on to active mana regeneration because it made its return this week in the form of alpha patch notes. Now each class will have an ability that returns a bit of mana. Now most of them are casting abilities, but paladins, for example, will sacrifice 3 holy power to get 7% mana, I believe. So if you've watched previous podcasts, you know that both LJ and Matt are healers. LJ's a paladin, Matt's a druid. I'd say just go, guys. Mana regen's your thing. You haven't been happy with it. Matt, you've already been complaining to me about it again. You take it first.
Okay. I looked at everything they were talking about, and I spoke to another person. I spoke to my other druid in our guild, and I wanted to have a chat with them and just say, what do you think about the change? And they said, and we both came up to the agreement that it just seems that the community moaned, myself included, I admit. The community moaned, and they waved the white flag and thought, oh, we'll bring it in anyway then. And then brought it in such a way for a druid that it seems completely pointless.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what the innervate on a cooldown. What was it now? Or not?
There's no cooldown on Innovate, which is fine. But
I have it here. Its Innervate has been redesigned to now have a 2-second cast time with no cooldown, and restore 2.5% of the druid maximum mana every 4 seconds for 8 seconds. So, oh yeah, and spending any mana on a healing spell will cancel this effect. That's
Yeah.
the active mana regen for druids. Basically,
that's where I've got
if
the
you
issue.
want to give yourself a bit of mana back, you can't cast any spells for 8 seconds. That's
Wait a minute.
spend mana.
Wait a minute, there is a catch in that. Which now we looked at it afterwards. There's a catch in it, and it's the effect ends if you cast any spells that cost mana. Any healing spells that cost mana. So say there's say it's like the 4-set bonus we have now, where you get a free heal every now and then, or you get something that pops, or there is something future like you can heal there. And I think it's just such a small amount of mana you get back to cost 8 heat. Now, maybe if someone pops all the cooldowns, you can have 30 seconds of one healer healing, or the other healer's taking up the slack from a druid, spending 20 seconds, 30 seconds to get some mana up, which may work because there is no cooldown on the Innovate. I just think they've been wanting to remove it because, say, it doesn't do anything. It like, you know what I mean? They were saying it's too much.
They can build it into your mana regen.
Yeah, they wanted to build it into your mana regen, yet then they thought of brought it back. And they were saying that healers have too much, almost to think about, too much spamming. Now, I don't know. It will...
What is the
happen.
core problem for you? What is the first thing that you don't like about it?
I just think that it just seems that a lot to do, a lot to have to sort out. If you're 10-man healing like we are, a lot of fights will have 2 healers. You're then going to have to plan. At the moment, they just said it's another spell you use.
Don't forget, this will be for mythic rating.
Yeah, this will be mythic. Sorry, it's 20 man. So it's going to be for 20 man. So what you're going to have 3-4 healers. So you're going to have to make sure there's bits in fights where you can have the druid doing nothing for a certain period of time, because doing it for 8 seconds just isn't going to be plausible.
What if they would increase the amount that you get after 4 seconds?
I think so. If they increase that a little bit, may give it more reward for the act of doing nothing, because that's what it feels like, then maybe. I'm just worried about it. Just at the minute we spoke about it at length, and we just don't think it's plausible in current raiding, and we can't see how they're going to make it plausible to use in future raiding, if you know what I mean. It just seems at the moment there's too little reward for the issue. If you're in the crap healing and you need any bit of mana you can, of course you're going to use it. But at the moment, it seems too little reward for the amount of time and effort it's going to take to use it.
Sounds like what it used to be with mana shield 4. I believe that is the shaman. That no matter what circumstances, it wasn't usable back. I'm not sure when it was. I think it was PC at the start of BC. I heard from another shaman
Water
that we all
shield
read
was
with.
pretty useful in Burning Crusade. I played.
Yeah,
it
but before that, I
shaman.
believe he said how he said it. I'm not sure when or what, but it doesn't matter when you use it, even in mid fight when it drops or something, that it wasn't worth using it anymore. So I mean, it feels like you're listening to the whining, but not really. Like, okay, you want the spell, here's the spell, but insert placeholder, basically.
Alright, well, for paladins then, 7% mana for 3 holy power.
It isn't too shitty, to be honest. I mean, holy power is the second resource you use, and you gather it up by. At the moment, it is 2 ways basically. You heal with, or you use holy shock. You get 1 holy power, or you heal a person that is that has your beacon of light. I mean, it's not too difficult, or you have a cooldown, by the way, that with the talents that every time you should get holy power. So in the 2 aforementioned ways, that you would get 3 instead of 1. So that's a 2-minute cooldown, which isn't too shitty. That's basically the cooldown that I also use when I need to move, which is basically every fight nowadays. But that saying, it's not too bad a way to get mana, because most of the times you use holy power now is for what's it called again? Eternal Flame, the heart that replaces Divine Light. No, not Divine Light. Word of Glory. And it's not too shit, because you can get holy power and skip a holy Eternal Flame. In the dire situations, of course, I think it's more useful than the innervate for druid, but it's still not something that is, I prefer it the way they want to do it, by just integrating it with playing, basically, and that would have made it a lot more fun and easier. But now it's just like I said, insert placeholder, because you want your spell back, here's your spell, but don't have fun with it. That's how I feel. Back to you, Sally.
Wow. I'm not going to answer to the name Sally, that's for sure. But the way I've perceived it as a non-healer, at least for this expansion, I really haven't healed at all. It feels
being
like...
a hunt, that would be a challenge.
Yes, but I have alts. I used my priest plenty in Cataclysm, etc. Anyway, what it feels like to me is that they're still going to boost your passive mana regen. They're still going to do all that, and basically the system where you should be able to cast your spells effectively, etc. But they're just giving you now the extra option to get some additional mana. For example, if you play bad and you burn too much of your mana by the wrong spell usage. Because remember, the goal for the design is going to be in raiding that people don't go from 100% to 10%, but you can heal them up over a longer period of time. They don't die from stuff like 2 shouts from Thok Heroic. So I really think it's just a concession to the community. Okay, if we took your choice away, we'll give it back to you in a lesser form, so that if you mess up pretty big, you still have a way to amend the situation a bit. Yes, you might have to heal a bit less. I think Resto Shamans will have Chain Lightning again that they need to cast. But we'll give you something at least to amend possible mistakes. That's how I see what they've now done in the alpha patch notes.
And pretty much that's what I see as well.
Matt?
We're done here? Okay.
Yeah. Ish. Maybe.
Because,
Well,
sure,
But it
You're
affirms
not
what you said as
happy?
well, Matt. So, I mean,
yeah, but sure, Matt, you're not happy perhaps about how Innervate currently works. But this is alpha patch notes version 3. We've still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
And this really feels like, okay, here's for if you mess up too big. So just don't mess up. That's how I see this.
yeah. Well, it's just always good to have a panic button, but yeah, it needs to be a very useful panic button to be a panic button. If you know what I mean. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean.
Well, rather some active mana regen than none.
Truth in that.
The thing is, as we said, even though, yes, I wasn't happy they were taking Innovate away because it was one of those spells. But if they've made the decision to get rid of it, fair enough. They've done it. They made the decision. In my eyes, they shouldn't then, 2 weeks later after they make that decision, change it because they think, oh, we've done this wrong. Because then it's good. It's good in
I
some
gotta
respects.
disagree.
No, it's good in some respect. But what they were saying they were going to do is they were going to test to see how it would work. They were going to see. They never tested. They can't have tested it properly to see how it would work in that period of time.
You don't know. You don't know how many testers
yeah.
they use.
We don't know how many tests they use, what they did, but I don't know. It would have just been nice to see.
It's unlikely. Put it like that, then.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see. They had this plan. They wanted to bring it out. It would be nice to see them sort of go with their conviction. But I moaned. It was all me. I moaned. No, every druid moaned. All the healers moaned about it. The only reason I mainly moaned about it was they only took the active mana regeneration off three of the 5 healers. They left it on 2 of them. If they
Perhaps
took it off,
they don't want all healers to work the
that's
same.
what I mean. But if they took it off all 5, then that would have been decent enough because they've given all 5 active mana regen now. Pretty much. I'm right, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah, they have.
I know they don't want them all. I know they don't want them all to look the same and all that type of stuff. Fair enough. You've got to respect that. But if you're taking it away from 3 of them, it seems to be a little. Yes, I'm going to use it. It's not fair, man.
It's just not right, man.
It's not right, man.
But now you're.
But now, I'll say, they brought it back in, and I don't know, we'll see how it works. I'd say for me, it just doesn't seem workable yet, but as you said, it's just alpha. The thing is about if fuck up, it's all right saying, oh, if you mess up, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be very, very... if you mess up, I can't see that spell being that much of a help, if you know what I mean. I just can't see it yet. So, I
It's
can't
also
see it
difficult,
being...
to actually mess up with mana. I mean, of course, it's difficult. I mean, depending how it's going to go, if you need a panic button, you need increased healing or decreased damage or something like that. But since they want to change that all in the next expansion, it's difficult to have something that you can say is this a oh shit I fucked up button.
Yeah, I think...
Yes.
Pardon me.
Because they've said...
And especially in the way that Innovate now works, that you're not allowed to heal. It's not a good panic button. It's just not isn't making a healer stop healing is not the thing you want to do if it's in a panic situation.
No, but for panic situations, you have the normal healing or damage reduction cooldowns, which healers still are going to have. They're removing them from others so that the healers matter more when it comes to those cooldowns.
Well, the thing, I mean, they're removing my wings, avenging wrath. I think it's called. I use it so often. It's just
Yes,
not.
you might have less cooldowns, but you shouldn't. You'll still have one or two. You shouldn't need panic. You shouldn't have to panic every minute. Then you're just doing something wrong completely, and then it's completely fair to wipe.
True as that may be, it's just difficult to see that as we've been waiting for so long that we needed those panic buttons for now. If they really implement it as well as they say they will, then I'll believe it. But before that, I'm just wary that we are going to not have stuff to deal. That we're not going to have enough tools to deal with the stuff that's been going to be thrown at us. Pardon me. Because I'm not used to anything different. I'm not saying that it can be different. I'm just saying let them show it that it can be different, and I'll believe them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And it is the third version of the patch notes. First version with its active mana regen.
Yeah,
It would be very surprising if they don't change any of it.
I know, and I totally agree with you. I mean, they changed those patch notes like almost, insert witty comment here. But yeah, I'd rather see it than believe it. I want to have proof, and of course, it's going to change a million times, and we'll see it when it happens by the end. And yeah.
Yeah, we just have to wait and see. And this is slightly off topic, but one of the reasons we're not even in beta yet is because they once again completely redesigned the starting areas. Frost Ridge and Shadowmoon Valley. They didn't like how it was. It wasn't high enough quality, so they just completely redid them. Just like Jade Forest, but now 2 zones.
Okay.
So I believe we still have a long way to go.
We do.
Yes. A very, very long way
Long and painful.
to go.
And seeing as we don't have an official discussion point, BlizzCon in November, will we see Warlords of Draenor before or after it? Considering it's almost May now, in a few days, and we're still in alpha.
Before.
After.
They have to do it before.
They will do it
Is
after.
it realistic that they'll do it before?
Let's put it this way.
BlizzCon. They always release the opening the cutscene in BlizzCon. Why would they put it like that?
No, they always do a cinematic in BlizzCon. They don't open the. They don't open the.
Well, they show it the first time there.
All I can say, if they leave it over a year for this, and you've got to be thinking about this. This is a year since they announced it that we're going to be doing the same content for nearly 16 months. They'll hardly have a subscription to the bloody game by the time we're going. If they don't bring up that information and say it after BlizzCon, there's a lot of good stuff coming out at the moment, and there's going to be a lot of people leave. I am
But
bored
if it's not
at
ready, it's not ready.
Well, unfortunately, Blizzard have dropped the ball massively. Then it's not ready. It's not ready.
Haven't
Fair
they
enough.
already though?
Well, I'm saying I'm talking about they're dropping many balls at the moment. But you look at the main situation with it. There's lots of other good games coming out that are different, and I say generally different. You've got Elder Scrolls Online, which actually is quite different. Yes, you've got the same old quests and stuff like that, but I quite enjoy that. I've only got level 12, but it took me like 85 hours to get to level 12. And that is quite a nice game. It looks like Elder Scrolls, and it does feel quite nice, and it's a good game. I like the crafting in there and stuff like that. You've got another game coming out called Wildstar soon, again, which is completely different. It's more cartoony. Played the beta the other weekend. Got to, I think, level 10 and loved everything about it. It was such a fun little game. And I can see that working really well as well. So they're going to have 2 or 3 quite big games coming out. And unfortunately now, unlike Diablo when Elder Scrolls came out, they ain't got anything else to release to try and stop people buying these other games.
Well, we'll have the... I'm hearing quite a big echo coming from you, Matt.
Is that better?
I don't hear anything, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah. The thing is, Hearthstone was one of the releases they used together with Diablo. That's why they didn't release any information about Warcraft, because they didn't want to so-called steal their thunder. I highly doubt that's actually true. But we'll get the PvE adventure mode from Hearthstone in the summer. I could imagine them using that as an excuse. Well, we do release something. And considering they redid 2 zones, they still have another 4 or 5 to do then. So I don't see it happening. And there's still raid content to be tested, dungeon content, PvP. I don't see it happening because they won't release it if it isn't done. And Blizzard has really screwed the pooch on this one.
Screwed the pooch? I've never heard that one before.
Have
Oh,
you
I do.
too?
No, that's the
Never
first.
heard that ever.
Because, yeah,
That's
yeah.
quite impressive.
I see them releasing the cinematic at BlizzCon as well. I really don't see a release for Warlords at this point until end of November or right before Christmas.
Bonuses if it's released at Christmas.
We can play it.
Oh.
Yeah, we go, but I honestly, if they do that, they are really, really screwing a lot. I just can't see it going on that long. I could see.
There's a difference between not seeing it and not believing you want to see it. I mean, we
Oh.
all don't want to see it, but somewhere it says Blizzard is screwed at the moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Because
I'll
we don't,
take it. I was right by the silence. Thank
yeah,
you.
because we don't want that either, but looking at how things are going, let's keep in mind that not Technical Alpha, just Alpha hasn't even gone into friends and family testing yet. That's always way before even going into beta.
Yeah, or you can hope with you've got to hope at the moment that a majority of the game is sorted. They've gone into the opening area, not liked it, so they're redesigning that part. Fair enough. But you have to believe and hope and beg
Pray.
and pray
Sure.
that most of it is sorted. So as soon as they do get to this stage, get to the stage of going, it should be fine. Hopefully.
But is that being realistic?
Oh, I don't know.
He says
I'll take it by.
defeatedly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll take it by your side that you really don't want it, but yeah. No, nobody wants it, but it's realistic.
Yeah, realistically, this could turn out very ugly for World of Warcraft.
It could for Blizzard as a whole. I mean, they can
And for
make
us as a player base. How many months of Orgrimmar will we have? How much subscription are we going to pay for just frickin' Orgrimmar?
I don't want to think about it.
No, because the thought alone is extremely depressing. I believe it's going to be in the 200 euros just for Orgrimmar alone.
God.
Yeah.
I'm ignore. I actually blanked out what you just said because I'm trying to completely ignore everything that's being said at the moment.
That's good.
Because it's depressing you, Matt.
It is really depressing me.
Yeah, reality sucks. And Blizzard screwed up. After everything they said last year at BlizzCon.
Oh well, let's have a little bit of faith in them, and let's hope they actually do the next. That Warlords is actually waitable.
Okay.
Is Matt breaking up for you, LJ?
Yeah, he is.
I'm guessing
I think his connection is
his
going down.
connection is going. So let's end the podcast here then.
Yes.
Thanks to both LJ and Matt, if Matt can still hear me, for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
There he is.
There he is. Thanks to the viewer for watching. This was episode number 31 for WoW Weekly. If you like the video podcast, please comment, subscribe, click on the like button. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/WoWweekly at Twitter at twitter.com/bbmezzi. And of course, you can check out our website itself, wowweekly.net. We have regular news articles, editorials, stuff like that on the website, and they're highly worth checking out. I highly recommend the editorial that I wrote myself last week about the... what was it?
Entitlement.
Yeah, entitlement, that's the word I was looking for. Entitlement culture within World of Warcraft. And at the end, I even surprise you with non-elitism, so check it out.
Which is unique.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I'm Mezzy, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.